Look, it's a flood.
The flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
The Pope says AI is for Satan.
Madison Square Garden's gonna be shaking
Culture is going through enshitification.
as the number of people bailing from the 250 concert keep rising up
And crashing through.
with a new episode is died.
And Ziggy.
Here with the
Flood.
flood. That's right, your favorite weekly pop culture digest.
Taking the news happening around us and talking about how it shapes the culture that defines us with our
pop perspective
to put the culture in context.
and make the mainstream make sense.
Because if we don't make sense, we don't make
dollars. Ha 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 holla
at the patrons in Rage Peacock.
Hey, we see you checking back in with us for another week later.
A Thunder Night.
Oh,
Hooray, yo! And that Andrew P. Raymer.
That's right. A shout out to all you new listeners and viewers. Shout out to everybody who've been keeping the views up on the most recent video. We see you and we appreciate you. More videos coming soon.
But you all know how we like to start this off. And if you're new, well, time for you to learn. And that is by abusing the algorithm. And this week's algorithm anthem is a classic oldie but a goodie, and none other than
Michael Jackson's Billie Jean, because as we've seen, you guys are really loving that Jackson movie, man. I mean, that new Michael Jackson biopic is biopic.
I think we
I know.
talked ad nauseum about this.
I know we have.
And we discovered that we mutually agreed on biopic.
It's, of course, because there is no other way, but I like saying it both ways to rage bait. A specific person. There is no rage baiting the Michael supporters, the greatest entertainer of all time. I mean, hands down. And both of us here are Prince fans. So, you know, there is no disqualifying the artistry.
Did you just say
of
entertainer?
both.
Because I believe Drake just got more number one hit singles than Michael Jackson. Michael who?
Beat it, nigga. Beat it. It is hard to ignore that with a 43-song track list, right, that somebody like Drake wasn't going to have at least one or two bangers there, right? And I think we can both agree that despite the current climate that is the social reception of a Drake, right? Despite the truth that is upon listening to all three of the albums, that Drake still refuses to grow sonically.
Janice,
there
shut the fuck up.
are some bangers on that joint, man. Beep, beep, baby. I'm just saying that if you need...
Let's stop even pretending that Drake and Michael Jackson are on the same level.
He's gonna be there.
Let's stop even pretending.
I'm definitely not saying that, and that's definitely what Hove was trying to remind everybody at the Roots picnic this weekend. When he dropped that freestyle.
To bring out a sports thing, like Drake thinks he's gonna film The Last Dance and he's gonna end up with season 2 of Netflix Starting 5.
As Hove put it delicately in his freestyle, which apparently was a legitimate freestyle at the Roots picnic. Nigga, you still fighting them white people for your publishing. Stop trying to talk to me like we're on the same level. Like, I need to remind you, I don't think you quite understand that, like, publishing, one, is a very big, that's the standard in music. Like, owning your publishing is the golden standard in music. It's why George Clinton and Parliament and Funkadelic don't get fucking paid for Atomic Dog, despite the fact that shit is in, like, every fucking commercial ever, right? It's how Michael Jackson got Eminem to shut the fuck up, right? By buying his entire publishing catalog, right? The Beatles too, right? Michael was very big on owning his publishing. You know who else is very big on owning their publishing?
Say, like Michael doing that
is pretty fucking gangster.
Pretty gangster shit.
Nigga, you can't get paid without me getting paid first.
Real G's move in silence.
Yeah. Everybody.
A white person doing that would have made a Twitter post. Michael just buy that shit.
One of my favorite.
Keep silent like them kids.
One of my favorite barbershop stories about Michael Jackson is that him and Tupac got into a fight over the Janet Jackson AIDS allegations thing.
Wait, what was the allegation?
So, when Janet and Tupac were filming Poetic Justice together, there was supposed to be a sex scene between Janet Jackson and Tupac, right? But Janet refused to do the sex scene unless Tupac got an AIDS test. And Tupac refused to get an AIDS test because at the time, AIDS was associated with homosexual activity, right? So essentially he was saying, I don't need to get no fucking AIDS test. I'm not a right. You can future Zig, you can believe that.
I think Stavros said it. No, not Stavros said it. Never mind.
That feels like something Shane Gillis would do.
Stavros did say the R word recently, but it was bleeped. But he was also making a point when he said it.
Yeah.
About how people want to be able to use the R word.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of was making a point when I said it, but some people might feel like it was egregious. But to my point, Tupac wouldn't get the test because he didn't want to look like he was soft for getting the test, so they didn't film the sex scene. So Tupac went around kind of like slandering Janet for a little while after that, saying that she was uppity and shit like that. And rumor has it, Michael didn't like that shit.
And actually, for people who know, Prince and Michael, actually gangsters.
Well, they're from Gary, Indiana, which has always been a pretty rough fucking area.
Well, Prince is from Minnesota.
Is he from Minnesota? I thought Prince was originally from Indiana too.
I don't know.
I mean, real quick. Okay, I mean, you can look it up. Anyway, I know Michael and them are from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, I know they're
which is where Freddie Gibbs is like from, right? Like, so as you know, as I was saying,
they're Hoosiers.
Is a pretty rough area.
Not only are they from a rough area, but they're Hoosiers.
Joe was also a fucking gangster himself, right? And a boxer, right? So you can best believe for certain when Joe wasn't beating them kids, he was teaching them kids how to put hands on people.
But what did Smokey Robinson teach them?
That's a discussion that's a conspiracy for another day.
Hold on, I just want to ask, how many of the kids is it allegedly that
just
Smokey
Michael,
just Michael?
It is just Michael. But allegedly, rumor has it that they ran into each other at somebody's function, and Michael apparently was on site with the shit and pulled up on Pac and told Pac that he didn't like the way that in the deep voice, in the Michael deep voice, that he didn't like the way Pac was talking about his sister, right? Because that is his sister, right?
I got a question. This is like it's gonna come across as a joke question, but take it seriously. You think Mike would use dance moves to whoop somebody's ass? You think he could dodge in weird ways because of the?
So are you asking me if I think Mike does capoeira on niggas? No, I don't. I just told you that Daddy was a boxer. Mike is pulling up with the fucking fisticuffs.
Por no los
dos. This nigga is a pugilist.
Por no los dos.
Well, apparently they did go to the ground when it got to fisticuffs. They threw blows, right? Because Pac was a hothead, right? And a New York nigga, right? And when a New York nigga meet a Midwest nigga, it's bound to go one of two ways, right? I don't know if that's actually true or not.
We'll be able to talk about that when we talk about the upcoming NBA Finals, because there was more than a hold me back moment.
Also, but San Antonio's, that's not the Midwest. But we
No, but like Oklahoma City is technically not either, but they suck. Fuck OKC. You stole the Sonics, assholes. Nobody likes you.
All right. So yeah, apparently everybody really likes the Michael movie. Because who doesn't like fucking Michael Jackson? Once again, probably the greatest musical celebrity that we have seen, or at least of our generation, right? I mean, Beethoven might have gotten
probably
as much
I mean, like you
reverence,
said, as I was thinking about it this whole time, like there's not many other live entertainers I can put over Michael Jackson, or really even consider putting over Michael Jackson.
They come even close, right? Like, and there are white entertainers, right? That like
I mean,
slap
I'm thinking
like that.
DMX,
like,
the 2 million people, and
I
that's,
mean, Billy Joel goes pretty hard for white people, right? Like, white people will pack out stadiums for Billy Joel, right? Not the way Michael, I just saw a story earlier about when Mike was performing in like South Korea or something like that, and he was like being lifted up on a fucking crane, and a dude fucking climbed a rafter or whatever to get at Michael while he was being like aired or carted across the room on this crane, and Michael had to like rescue the dude mid-concert. People were doing wild shit for Michael Jackson in a way that made people like Madonna jealous. Madonna was always quoted to be jealous of how Michael would literally have people passing out for him, and she was like, that never happens for me, and like, I'm a woman, that should happen for me, and you have men and women passing out for you, and that makes me feel I'm like the queen of sex, and that doesn't like but she no.
So, I mean, the only other person, which would be a group that I can think of like that type of reaction, was the Beatles.
Yep. And go ahead, I'm gonna let you cook.
Reminds me that, I don't know if you heard, but Stephen Colbert's show got canceled. The last guest that he had was Sir Paul McCartney.
Right.
In the Ed Sullivan Theater, which, for all of you people who need some pop culture history, is where the Beatles first debuted in America. That iconic black and white image of video of them going, "It's been a hard day," and then the women screaming.
Yeah.
The top level of the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York City.
Yeah, it was
And
peak.
from there, that's where it got to, like, the Beatles running through the streets with people chasing them all the time.
And I would argue that the Jacksons still hit harder than that. The Jackson 5, I would argue that the Jackson 5 still... When Michael in the Jackson 5 first debuted with ABC...
Time out real quick.
Easy as 1, 2, 3...
We said, like in our coolest people and, like, most famous living people, like, Paul McCartney was in both.
I'll give you that.
He couldn't get the Pope. Paul McCartney is a pretty goddamn good second fiddle, like a backup plan.
What I will give you is that the cultural impact of the Beatles comes pretty close to the cultural impact of Michael Jackson, and it still took 5 of them niggas. It took 5 of them niggas to equal 1 of Michael Jackson. And then if you took Michael Jackson and you put him back in his original group of 5 niggas, the impact that they had, like, fucking still overshadowed the Beatles, right? In a way that was culturally significant because black music didn't travel through the same media.
Well, if we are talking about long-lasting cultural impacts, and I mentioned that McCartney was on Stephen Colbert's show that has now got canceled.
Yeah.
For, quote, financial reasons. The lasting impact of Stephen Colbert's late-night run, which now he's going to show up somewhere, and there has got to be a Kalshi bet about him taking a week of guest hosting for Jimmy Kimmel during the summer.
I'm really just convinced at this point that they're trying to Bill O'Reilly Stephen Colbert, right? Like, because the MAGA movement has done a fantastic job at this point of really making the left and progressive America pay for every tax that they were made to foot the bill on during the Joe Biden and Obama years.
I feel like the reason they're so hard on Colbert and Kimmel is because they thought Colbert was one of them with Colbert Report, and Kimmel was one of them with The Man Show.
Oh, absolutely. And they still talk about that in their circles. You know they do, right? Like, they bring up the fact that Kimmel tries to play progressive now, but it's just cringe, and they miss the days when TV was like The Man Show, right? And Stephen Colbert was doing the Colbert Report, right? Because they really don't. A lot of them, I'm seriously convinced, a lot of them don't understand that the Colbert Report was satire.
Yeah, no, I'm thoroughly convinced.
Just like,
and that's what makes me like. That's why they're going so hard at Colbert and Kimmel. Like, they probably don't even know that Seth Meyers exists.
The same reason that they're going hard at the NFL because of Trump, right? And Trump is going hard at the NFL because they wouldn't let him buy
the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. But they don't remember that. They don't remember anything.
The one lawsuit
9/11.
that Trump won was against the NFL, and he got his award of $1 because it was such a miserable fucking lawsuit. The whole situation sucked for everybody involved.
I'm genuinely convinced that MAGA GOP doesn't remember anything before 9/11, right?
I don't think they remember anything before 2020.
I will give you that 2020 broke a lot of them, but if you talk to them, a lot of their cultural references for their reasoning for standing on the ground they stand on after 2020 starts at 9/11.
Yo, it's hilarious. I saw like one of James Tallarico's like somebody in Texas who's trying to campaign against him, not Ken Paxton, just like somebody on Ken Paxton's side. They were like, this guy looks like he can't name an obscure wide receiver from the 2000s. And I immediately ran to the comments. It was like, Derek Mason!
Dude, the fact that Ken Paxton won the nomination, right, while also coming off of the heels of his trial for, like, fraud and
Thomas Massie losing to, quote, a warm body.
It really speaks on. I keep wanting to do like a flood State of the Union episode, but I really
would totally be down for that.
Want to like break. I really want to like deep dive into a couple of things for that, right? But we do have to do that because how the fuck did Thomas Massie lose his House seat? Because let me, all right,
the most expensive primary in United States history.
Right. So if we're going with the argument that his focus was too much on the Epstein files and not enough on representing his constituents, maybe I'm willing to hear you out, right? I could give you that, because it's been a lot of that, right? And I feel like though, if you voted for Thomas Massie, that's why you voted for Thomas Massie, right? Because he was like, hey, I feel like a lot of stuff is fucked up, and I feel like one of the things that's going to help us fix that is exposing all these pedophiles, right? And you were like, okay, yeah, you know what? Sure.
Protect the children.
Yeah, because nothing else seems like it's working right now, so definitely just protect the babies, right? And then they were like, thank you for your service. That's it, because that's what we do with our veterans, right? You know, they go over and they kidnap presidents, right?
Well, I mean, just to tie all of this up, Thomas Massie getting primaried in the most expensive primary ever Stephen Colbert getting cut for, quote, financial reasons just kind of goes to show that there might be something going on with this whole freedom of speech, freedom of the press thing. So, I think we should go on a quick break. And
Welcome back. And we back. Man, let's talk about it, right? We gotta, at this point, despite the efforts of the GOP, we gotta talk about the elephant in the ballroom.
Well, I mean, you came to me in the pre-show rundown, and you specifically used the word enshitification.
I mean, that's been the big buzzword recently on the interwebs, right? Enshitification, right? And when we're talking about enshitification, there is a specific person which we owe the coinage of this phrase to. Yeah, so the dude who coined the term is a Canadian-British sci-fi writer / journalist / activist named Cory Doctorow.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Enshitification?
No, Cory Doctorow.
That's the dude's name. And it's actually a book that he wrote about the study of why everything is getting worse, i.e. the enshitification of things, right? Like media, markets, consumer goods, right? Like cars, you name it. The internet as
One of my
space.
favorite things to look at when it comes to this is there's no new candy. Reese's just made a new alternative.
Even
There's a new way to eat Nerds. Nerds Rope. Now Nerds Clusters.
yeah.
Hey, look! Now there's Starburst sour gummies instead of just a different candy.
Or like the freeze-dried candies, like the freeze-dried Skittles and stuff like that, right? We are running up on what may be the edge of innovation, but I don't necessarily know if it's that, actually, right? And one of the things that sparked my interest in this topic, right, was a video on YouTube by a creator named Ashley Embers, right? And the video was titled, "It's not Gen Z's return to traditionalism, it's a trauma response," right? And the video goes over things like the rise of grandma and grandpa core, which is just, you know, young people's increasing
Pick up on things like knitting.
yeah, and gardening and stuff like that, right? And nostalgia as a coping mechanism, right? And tying these
The
things,
idea of an 18-year-old being nostalgic is wild.
I do. I mean, the rise in like Y2K nostalgia, right? Like harkening back to these kids who are, you know, and I'm gonna go ahead and be a little unctified, a little OG-ified here and say kids in like, you know, their 20s and stuff, harkening back to a time where the rise of the internet and a newfound technology all still kind of felt hopeful, right? And it felt inspiring, right? Like when Apple computers still had the bubble backs and the clear colors and stuff on them, right? Like
When Happy Tree Friends was the most shocking thing we've ever seen.
I mean, Live Leak was still a thing, right? Like fucking shocking.com was still a thing.
I mean,
right?
Kiki Palmer did just go viral again for
mention-
bringing up Two Girl One Cup.
a very millennial of you, Kiki Palmer, by the way.
And then the one
Quinta-
other person was
yeah.
like, girl.
Quinta Brunson was like the other millennial at the table. Not the only other millennial. There were a couple of
The other ones were just
millennial
like, we're not going to acknowledge,
Gen
do not
Xers,
engage,
yeah.
do not engage.
Yeah. They were like, did she really? This is gonna go on the internet. And Kiki was like, I know this is going on the internet.
You know what else Kiki knew was going on the internet? Her podcast with Sean Evans, a.k.a. Caliente Caillou.
So, as we're like, but to keep on topic,
Yes.
right? tying all this to the end of convenience and the enshitification of everything, right? Like, we would like to romanticize. It's kind of like how the news, like hope porns everybody, or charity porns everybody every now and again, and is like, oh, the community got together and got this fucking elementary school cafeteria lady a car after hers broke down so she can keep showing up to work. Or like everybody at this factory pitched together and bought this worker who walked to work for 42 fucking years a car for his 42 years of coming to work on time every day.
Let me actually go at this from another angle to the pop culture sphere, where everybody is complaining about not getting original stories, and then we do get some that are celebrated, a la Sinners, and then we do get more unique original things like Backrooms that just dropped this weekend. I started as a YouTube series.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of something that I wrote a paper of in college, where I coined the term cultural artistry, where it is about hybridizing multiple different pieces of culture and taking the themes from both of them and the imagery from both to create something new, also known as DeviantArt.
I feel like Backrooms is an example of that. I feel like Sinners, though, is an example of what I feel like is the current state of cultural traumatic shock that we are in. And it's part of the reason why we aren't really getting truly awe-inspiring. And okay, let me double back here, actually. I'm not going to say we're not getting truly awe-inspiring new content, but it's part of the reason why that content is not breaking through, right? I feel like Sinners kind of bridges the gap here a little bit because it is a new story, but it is still anchoring itself in the current state of cultural trauma that we are experiencing, right? And that current state of cultural trauma is why nostalgia as a coping mechanism is big across every generation. It's not just millennials, it's not just Gen Z, it's not just, even Gen X is quietly hearkening back to a time where Star Wars was the most technical thing that they had ever seen in their lives.
That's the third time you used hearkening this episode.
Hey, shout out to
Dune.
My vocabulary dictionary. Also, shout out to Dune.
Every time you're saying hearkening, I'm just imagining that guy's head coming out of the black pool of oil.
Also, shout out to Pearl Mania. No, but for real though, like, think about it, fam. And even there's tons of new stuff, right? And people do give credit, right? People do tend to really appreciate the new media that lands, right? Like with shows like White Lotus, which I feel like or Squid Game, right? Which both I feel like
Severance
all of those shows I feel like fill the same cathartic niche, right? Which is, kind of seeing the sick and twisted world that the rich and powerful have created for us be twisted in front of them.
There are things in pop culture that take the nostalgia bait and subvert it. Like a great example, X-Men 97. Just being here, something that we all remember as kids, and then you just hear, Magneto was right.
I feel like even that, I'm gonna push back and say I feel like is part of the trauma response that we are culturally stuck in right now. We are all, and I don't know.
Are you thinking that we're all scared to create something new?
I think yes, and not necessarily for the reasons why you may think. I think
my first thought was the fear of failure.
No. I think actually economically everybody is afraid to bet on something new because we don't know what to expect with the current state of things, right? So people are, despite the desire for something new, because everybody is saying it. Everybody's saying they want new stories. We're all saying we're tired of reboots, despite the fact that over like fucking 80% of the movies in theaters this year and last year alone were reboots and remakes, right? Everybody's saying they want something new. And there are tons of new stories that are being told, but people are still latching on to your X-Men 97s, your Masters of the Universe, which looks good. I'm not going to say it looks great, right? I'm willing to watch it.
Looks kind of gay.
It's always looked kind of gay.
My boss
but so
told me that she was like, I've never thought He-Man is gay. And I'm thinking, just really?
I mean, this is coming...
The guy holds his sword straight up and says, I have the power.
Yeah, this is coming from the guy who likes to watch a bunch of dudes dribble balls up and down the court for a good, like, what, hour and a half?
But does not masturbate to girl cock.
No, not at all. Not while fucking King LeBron may be watching. Shout out to King James. Never disappoint. And nostalgia.
Speaking of cultural trauma shock.
Nostalgia never disappoints.
Nostalgia is like a genie in a bottle.
That's why we're getting a Malcolm in the Middle reboot.
Nostalgia is like a genie in a bottle. Whenever you miss it, you go there, you indulge in the nostalgia, you get your 3 wishes granted, and then you walk away and the genie vanishes right back into the lamp. Never, ever is it the true experience that you had.
Now riddle me
Wish
this.
the genie for.
Now riddle me this, Batman. What do you think is harder to capture? A genie in a bottle or lightning in a bottle? Because I will tell you that it is very clear that currently in the media, Hollywood is starving.
I don't think
to
Batman would
capture
have, I don't think Hollywood. I'm
lightning
just saying,
in a
I
bottle.
don't think Batman would have a problem kidnapping Christina Aguilera. I think he pulled it off pretty easily, actually. Or Will Smith. Robin Williams would be a little more difficult.
I would argue all this supports my point, right?
Sinbad, easy peasy.
It used to be like really easy, right? Because we were coming off of a Hollywood and a cultural media that was very conservative, very restrained, very formal, right? Like you can go back to watch those Golden Age movies and they're good, right? But a lot of them are very refined, right?
And we had remakes and things growing up too, but these remakes were from IPs 30 or 40 years old.
Yeah, now because a lot of those remakes are still fresh. I'm not gonna say that there's stuff that they couldn't dig through, but like digging through what's left, right, to find something fresh feels a bit more of a burden for somebody who is just looking to turn a profit, because right now that feels like a safe investment, right? So when you compound that with the fact that even though people are asking for new material, what they are actually doing is going and seeing things that feel safe and familiar to them, right? It would make sense that the safe bet here is to keep feeding people the same stuff. Like, I mean, Star Wars...
Heaven forbid we challenge their cognitive dissonance.
There's nothing in that. I just watched a video about that just recently, too, about how media isn't even really challenging anymore, right?
Second screen media.
There's nothing that forces you to, and you could talk to fans of like Joker 2 Folie à Deux, right, and argue that
I don't want to do that.
That there is media that's forcing you to think, right? But clearly fans of people who think Thanos was right also think Pinochet was right, and I would argue that they
also
still
probably think Riesling is classy.
Not critically thinking the way that a movie like Martyrs is actually asking you to think, or a movie like Beast of No Nation is actually asking you to think. Both movies that are probably two of the hardest movies to watch that I've actually ever watched.
The most recent extremely difficult movie that I had to watch, and I certainly won't watch it again, but I will say it was a very good movie, was Blink Twice.
I
the
feel
one that makes me go, Zoe, you know something about Letty, don't you?
I feel like
incredible performance by Channing Tatum.
There are good movies being made right now. Like everybody, I keep seeing really great things about Booster, or I Love Boosters, right? It's being compared to Sorry to Bother You and films of that nature, right? Like it's one of those really quirky,
like Wes Anderson absurdist style,
type movies, right? I've been looking around at the climate online, right, and just the kind of discussions that people are having, and I'm not gonna lie, the noties feel dry, and it's about to be summertime, right? And it just feels like we're in like kind of a cultural drought. Even though we have like these significant moments, it's like when you catch significant moments of rain.
I mean, if we're talking about missing significant moments in a cultural drought, I mean, America is about to turn 250, and we were supposed to have a big celebration, and they got all of these C-listers, and even the C-listers were like, nah, we're not gonna do this. Except for Vanilla Ice. He's proudly said that he is going to do it. And so is the guy from CNC Music Factory, who filmed a video about it while taking a shit.
So that's like it, right? Like America is reduced to the memes, and that's it. We are coming up on
Flowrider to be the turbot.
250th anniversary of a country that has set so many. America used to quote Max B, like America used to be wavy. Like we just went to the moon again, and even people
we didn't go to, we went around.
We went in, but that's it. That's what I'm saying. We used to be wavy.
Around the moon.
We touched down on shit. Right? Like, America is so wavy. We invented fucking soccer. Soccer has been around for God knows how long. And it's been known as football for God knows how long. America comes around. The fucking Cowboys come around, bro. And they're like, nah, this is football. And the rest of the world is like, asterisk.
American football.
The metric system? Nah.
All right, here's one.
We often no, hold on, because I'm glazing for a second, because you're right. America is coming up on its 250th anniversary.
And we have some cool shit.
America is so, let me tell you, there's only one other country as wavy as America when it comes to committing atrocities, but also still being drippy, and it's not Germany.
Is it England?
It's Japan.
Yeah! Yeah! Japan's got hella war crimes. Yeah. Japan is the best PR department ever.
Yeah. And they're also drippy as fuck. over there, right? Like
Their
Japan.
PR department is so good, not only do they make your reputation better, but they hide literally every evidence of your bad shit.
I mean, America used to be the same way, and I need everybody listening to understand that. America used to be so drippy that even black people were willing to forgive slavery. This is going to be something that's going to get me canceled by Dr. Umar. Black people were willing to forgive slavery just for a piece of the American pie. And that is some real shit. Like, let's keep it a band. Like, 40 acres and a mule was some real shit. We were like, hey, listen, we're here now. We're willing to look past all of that. You just give us some reparations. And white people were like, absolutely the fuck not. And black people were still like, okay, cool. You know what? Let us be, leave us to our own, and we'll do what we gotta do. And white people were like, absolutely the fuck not. And black people were like, you know what? We'll make it work. And we did. And the impact, as we said earlier, like with the Jackson 5, put America on the fucking map.
All right, here's one. The America 250 concert. A list of 5 artists currently living that if Obama was in office...
Why did you say Obama like that? I saw something on, I think it was Threads today, that was like MAGA's obsession with the Obamas needs to be studied.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then they really talk about them. It's almost worse than the way they talk about it is definitely worse than the way they talk about the Kennedys, right? Like,
I mean, they couldn't pick one they couldn't pick one of the Obama daughters out of a police lineup.
And they can't talk about the Kennedys anymore because RFK is on the fucking MAGA payroll, right? So now the cultural obsession has to be the Clintons, and they're not gonna pick on Chelsea and what's the other daughter?
I don't know.
Because we all know how that's gonna get real quick, right?
All right, so if we had a non-problematic president who was doing a non-political celebration, the 5 biggest American artists that you could think of who also celebrate like the music history.
Oh, it's definitely
Who do you
not.
think would? I mean, the first one that I came up with was Bruce Springsteen. I don't like Bruce Springsteen, but it's kind of like
an
I feel
objective.
like
You
choice.
can't do an American celebration without Bruce Springsteen, right? Or Stevie Wonder, for that matter, because Stevie's still alive.
Stevie Wonder and Springsteen.
Not going to be Morgan Wallen, because
No.
we can't afford all those pianos. Let's see. We got Stevie Wonder. We got Bruce Springsteen. We need somebody new. It's not going to be Meg Thee Stallion, because we
Taylor
know
Swift.
how that went over for Kamala.
Taylor Swift,
Do we have
Beyonce,
to?
Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Green Day.
All American rejects.
No, Green Day is definitely bigger. And Green Day definitely has that. Like, Green Day would capture, like, the punk movement, like the metal movement, the rebellious, and it would capture, like, a whole decade. And it would make the white people happy. So, Green Day.
What hair metal band? Because there has to
Guns
be
N'
a
Roses.
Guns N' Roses, not Van Halen.
No, just I think someone from Van Halen is pretty. No, it's definitely Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
Like it's.
But we
no
both
hesitation,
agree.
Guns N' Roses.
We both agree that there has to be a hair metal band there.
Once again, I feel like Green Day would be the happy compromise for everybody.
Not for a hair metal band.
I'm
Absolutely
putting Green Day.
not.
So I have 3.
Absolutely
I have
not.
Springsteen, Stevie, and Green Day for sure.
As far as rappers, I feel like definitely Snoop Dogg. Because if he was at the Bitcoin concert...
Snoop plus Dre and Eminem.
Snoop, Eminem, Kendrick.
Do they have songs that they can all, like, melody in together?
Does Bruce Springsteen have to melody in his songs with
No, but Bruce
Stevie
Springsteen has
Wonder?
enough to do a set.
So does Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I know, but
What are
like,
you talking about?
a lot of songs have features. Like if it was
Do you
forgot about
are you-
Dre, you would want to have Eminem and Dr. Dre.
I mean, okay,
Like, if
so
you're gonna
are
do
you
a set-
arguing? Or
No,
so
like
you're
I'm
arguing
saying,
that
if you're gonna do a set, you could pick like a couple of different rappers to be a part of that set.
I don't think that because I mention a rapper, though, we have to include the rappers that are going to be included in his set as features, though.
I feel like that'd be a really good way to do a hip hop representation, honestly.
Yeah, but fucking Bruce Springsteen might want to have somebody famous from a different fucking band play guitar or drums in one of his sets. Like, rock stars do this shit all the time. I was just watching, what the fuck is that?
I bet you Stevie and Springsteen would use the same backing band. That's the type of shit it would be. So no, we do.
Yeah,
need
but
some
we're
kind
not-
of-
we're not
we do
breaking
need
it
some
down
kind
to
of
that
country
point.
representation.
Yeah, I mean, Dolly Parton. Duh. Fine. There you go.
Dolly,
how about
I mean, the
how
only-
non-problematic is that?
I mean, the only other person I could be like.
Reba McEntire. Boom. There you go.
I mean, it would be like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, we can throw Taylor in
And then
there.
that would also give us our female
Oh,
representation
and
as well.
Sabrina Carpenter, duh, right? Like, we could have Sabrina Carpenter, and, like, I mean, it's America 250, right? So,
yeah, actually,
like, we're
let's
gonna
give all
get...
of these people some guest appearances. Like Sabrina Carpenter bringing out Madonna again would be good.
It's America 250, so I feel like Madonna has to be included, even though... I don't know.
Who would you like to see show up on stage with Stevie Wonder? I have a surprise pick.
Anderson .Paak, for one. Bruno Mars, for two.
Jack White for the Detroit Connection on guitar.
The Detroit Connection sounds like a pretty sick crime film. I'm not gonna lie.
The Detroit Connection?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Sounds like some Four Brothers shit.
Jalen Rose, get on that.
I don't want to get too far away from it because I really do feel like this is something everybody's experiencing but doesn't know exactly how to put or like what
One artist for sure. I forgot. John Williams.
Okay.
Star Wars, Jurassic Park.
Oh. Okay, for the nerd factor.
Yeah.
Right, but how to put their finger on it, right? Like, there is, like, come on, like, there's a cultural stagnation happening, right? Like,
Oh, for sure.
there's good stuff that's coming out, but nobody knows how excited to get about it, and it's kind of cause, like, everything fucking sucks right now, right? And the only thing there is to get excited about is how much everything sucks right now.
I wanna
right?
make an
like,
observation.
And making fun of that shit.
I want to make an observation. There are, compared to past decades, substantially less under 30 celebrities that are universally recognized because of this fragmentation of monoculture.
Right, like even in Hollywood, right? One of the big things that I've noticed, and I'm not the only one that's noticed, is the drought of like new actors, right? And I think that's one of the things that was big about this Backrooms movie is it used a lot of like lesser known actors, right?
Well, I mean, they had to. Their budget was $10 million. And they
Yeah,
spent most of that on rental space and empty
was-
office buildings and fucked up furniture.
Yeah, but that was part of what made a lot of the movies that we grew up with, like from the early 90s.
Oh, yeah. I love
Big-
intentionally shitty stuff.
It's not even that it's intentionally shitty.
Or shitty by circumstance.
It's under budget, right? So like you give real directors who are really trying to prove themselves the kind of like circumstances and situations they need to like cut their teeth and prove
An
themselves.
example is right behind your shoulder of what I mean. Like, I like shitty things on purpose. The Ramones. I guarantee you at least one of them pulled a jacket that they are wearing out of a dumpster.
I would argue that the shittiness of punk rock aesthetic is different from the reason that the shark in Jaws isn't shown more often than it is because they didn't have the budget to show it more often than
They said the biggest budget waste was the shark malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Like, the reason the movie cost so much is the shark would keep breaking, and they had to pay the crew.
But it's also one of the things that made Jaws so good.
That movie is so fucking good.
You don't see it is the first blockbuster
it is
movie.
the first summer blockbuster movie.
And one of the things that makes...
And also an objectively good movie.
And one of the things that made it so good is the director had a fucking shoestring budget to work with and was trying to prove themselves. They were trying to cut their teeth and make a way and make art. And that is what we are lacking right now in this cultural stagnation, is people who are willing to make art for art's sake despite the budget. Like, obviously people want to make money on their artwork in order to live. Everybody wants to live, right? But you used to be able to do things like work a side job to pay your way through college. You can't fucking do that anymore, right? Like, you used to be able to wait tables and go out and audition to be an actor at the same time. You can't do that
now. You
anymore.
have to dance and audition to be a different kind of actor at the same time.
Now you gotta pop your pussy on the internet just to pay rent, right? The economy is sports betting and OnlyFans. Let's be real, right? And one of those, I saw a post the other day, track how many times I said that this episode, that was like, it's funny how it's looked at as selling your body when you do things like OnlyFans and stuff like that, but like, it's not looked at as selling your body when you literally break down your fucking cartilage and your fucking joints and stuff working for a factory. It's like, yeah, come on, like, what's the difference there? Literally, what is the fucking difference there?
What's the difference between selling your body like that and breaking your bones and your joints down at a factory, or breaking your bones and joints down at the middle of Madison Square Garden for the NBA Finals? It is the Bing Bong New York Knickerbockers,
man, let me tell you
versus
something.
the San Antonio Spurs.
Let me tell you something. If one thing is keeping my hope core alive on the internet, it's the fact that science is now actually proving that the more you are hopeful and focus on good things, the better it is for your brain and your body. But the second thing would be how excited Knicks fans are. New Yorkers are so fucking hype right now.
You and I are both Celtics fans, and we're rooting for the Knicks just because the world sounds more fun if the Knicks win. It just, like, it's going to be really annoying. At the same time, it hasn't happened in over 50 years.
Let me tell you something. No.
And if the Knicks win now, they'll not win for another 53
I'm
years.
with you, but I'm with you for an entirely different reason. And it is for the enthusiasm and the passion with which New Yorkers love New York. When
Also,
Zoran was elected
doing
mayor,
this in his rookie season,
they said, fuck it. That's our mayor. And
he's sitting in the nosebleeds.
The Knicks are in the playoffs.
I'm sure
New
he
York
could
got
get
a
courtside seats,
socialist
he's just like,
mayor.
no, just get me in the stadium.
The rest of America is a fucking dumpster fire. The least we could do
is make sure Oklahoma City does not make the finals. Thank you, Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox.
Listen, especially coming off of the heels of the enhanced Olympics being such a disappointment, right? Everybody, so much so that I'm sure all of the listeners actually forgot that the enhanced Olympics were a thing. That's the Olympics where they allowed people who were taking steroids to compete. And I need you to know, just in case you didn't watch, all of this, everybody who was taking steroids got absolutely washed
by like professional athletes who just competed clean.
And so much so to the point that they did worse in their actual Olympic performance than they did trying to qualify for the enhanced Olympics. That's like, when I say cultural stagnation, I literally mean
the Knicks are in the finals. Let's focus on the important parts. The Knicks are in the finals. Do you realize that if the Knicks win the championship, Jalen Brunson could literally walk out of a bodega and every single New Yorker would just roll a red carpet continuously in front of him to wherever he's going?
If the Knicks win the finals during a time where Trump has been legally booted out of New York, they have a socialist mayor,
2 blizzards,
America is on fire, we will not hear about it for the next decade. It will take another 9/11 before we don't hear about this.
And you're right. You want to know, here's how it's going to go. If the Knicks win, it's going to be like the next year, Spurs win. You know, we beat him. The next year, Spurs win. You know, we were the ones that beat him. The next year, Spurs win. You know, we were the ones that beat him. The next year, Spurs win. Yeah. God damn it! Yes, we know you were the ones that beat Wemby.
Zoran literally just balanced the budget. Like,
It was only possible because Jalen Brunson took less money on his contract.
New York is on a win streak. New York is on a crazy win streak, and it might be what the country needs. Maybe in a time where we relied on the libertarian free will of states like Texas and the morality of guys like Joe Rogan to lead the way, and it pathed us down a road of tabula rasa that has turned dark for us.
It's gotten
maybe we do need a state like New York.
Yeah, like, no, if Zoran winning, balancing the budget, and then the Knicks win the championship, that proves anything is possible.
We thought it was going to be California, right? We thought Gavin Newsom, maybe he had learned his lesson after having a podcast where he had Charlie Kirk on and defending skeptical trans legislation, right?
And hating homeless people.
And absolutely loathing homeless people. After Gavin Newsom disappointed us, right? New York has been a shining beacon of hope, right? And this is coming from a state with one of the country's only black governors, right?
Yeah.
I think the only.
And we got Brandon as a black mayor of a major metropolitan area.
Yeah, we got 2 significant.
We could call him Mayor Scott, but
POC
to us,
leaders.
He's Brandon.
And I still feel like New York is really leading the charge here. Oh, man. And that's, disappointingly after Tim Walz let us down, right? In Minnesota. And, kind of bending the knee to Trump and ICE.
Now, I do want to talk about this NBA Finals a little bit. So, the last time the Knicks won was over 50 years ago. My dad was in his early 20s when the Knicks won the finals.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
You want to know what's also crazy? One of the players on that championship Knicks team not only became a Hall of Famer, but also a United States Senator, Bill Bradley.
Man, I'm telling you, the United States is truly.
It's been over 25 years since they last
I thought you
made
were
the
gonna
finals.
say 250. No, dude. Okay, so that's kind of my point, right? Like, and Donald Trump's presidency kind of adds to this, but the United States is a place that is so unique that somebody who played professional sports can then turn their life around and become a public servant.
I mean, Bill Bradley was kind of just like a overall good dude. I mean, like, grew up middle class white guy. Like,
I mean, what the fuck is the wrestler's name?
Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, the fucking Jesse Ventura, right? Like, it's not the issue. The real issue here is the fact that the real barrier for entry for like public servitude is money, right? And it's always been money. Even when you go back to the foundation of America, all of those guys, every
Money
single
is a big
last
factor
one
in
of
things.
them.
Like, one of the big reasons the Knicks have been able to assemble their roster is because Jalen Brunson took a pay cut on his contract. That enabled them to trade for Karl Anthony Towns, who has had a big career turnaround in changing his defensive philosophy under the new coach Mike Brown, and Mikal Bridges, who they traded a fuck ton of first-round picks for. That brought together the Nova Knicks with 3 of the Knicks players, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, and Mikal Bridges, all being on championship Villanova NCAA championship basketball teams. And now, here they are, a little less than a decade later, in the NBA Finals, playing in the Garden. Victor Wembanyama shows up as a 7'5" alien, only in his 3rd NBA season, with his 2 new, also youngblood teammates, Stephon Castle, who is a ball of fire, and Dylan Harper, who's cold as ice. It's going to be a good finals. San Antonio is set up to be a dynasty for a long time, but at the end of the day, everybody's happy to see Oklahoma City fail. That's really what we were all happy for.
It did look like that's
we're
what
like,
the
great,
internet,
we're going to
yeah.
have a watchable finals. Because we're all rooting for the Knicks, but Jalen Brunson flops a lot. The last thing we want to see is 2 shooting guards flopping all over the place.
I mean, once again, like I said, the entire reason I'm excited is because of the way New York is excited. And as you put it, it's been a long time since the Knicks have actually won. Maybe almost as long as it was for the...
Do you know who Phil Jackson
Cubs?
is?
Yes.
Who's Phil Jackson?
The coach?
Yeah. He was also the starting center on the New York Knicks championship team.
Yeah, oh, damn.
That's how long ago it's been.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
He's had gray hair your entire life.
Yeah, no, that part I do know.
And apparently he would play games on acid and shit, which is very on brand for Phil Jackson.
It's very on brand for the time he played, too. It's hype, right? And America needs that. As I keep trying to elaborate on with the cultural stagnation thing, right? And the cultural trauma that I feel like we're suffering from. It's that America needs a real breath of catharsis, right? Because it can't focus on anything really innovative right now.
Well, I'll say that there is something that we can do after this break that is both familiar, new, and cathartic. And that is figuring out whether these crazy news stories are from Florida or everywhere else. So stay after this break for this week's Florida versus everybody. Break! Welcome back.
Welcome
It's
back.
time for one of our favorite segments.
And the end of the episode.
It is time for Florida versus everybody.
Everybody, because we all know, no matter what the headline, Florida is the standard for crazy around the world.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's
Florida man's.
Making this the most Florida story of the week.
I would argue there's only one other place,
Russia,
which is why it
which
used
is
to be
where we started this game. It was specifically headlines of Florida versus Russia.
right?
And then Russia invaded Ukraine, and it felt in bad taste.
No disrespect to the actual Russian people.
Or the Ukrainian people.
Absolutely no disrespect to the Ukrainian people. But
First
as
one,
we go.
officers sue Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, claiming details in The Rip are too real.
All right. All right. I feel like I would know the answer to this if I had seen the movie The Rip. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that this is from Russia, though.
This is not from Russia.
It's not. Is it from Florida?
This is from South Florida.
It is from Florida.
Two
Oh,
South
wow.
Florida police officers claim Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's recent action thriller, The Rip, used too many real-life details in its fictionalized narrative, causing harm to the officers' personal and professional reputations, according to a defamation lawsuit.
So, I guess my question about this before we move on to the next headline is, how do you feel about suing for defamation over the authenticity of a movie depicting some shit you did?
Better or worse than suing Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in general?
Not even. Like, if somebody made a movie about some shit you did, would you rather it be so absurd that it was further from the truth than what really happened? Or would you rather it be so accurate that everybody knew what you did?
Although Smith and Santana aren't named in the film and weren't involved in its production, the lawsuit claims that Santana was serving as the lead detective assigned to the real case, and Smith was the sergeant who supervised the investigative team. The film's inclusion of real details about the case give the impression that the characters are based on the plaintiffs. This, the lawsuit claims, has given friends, family members, and colleagues the impression that the plaintiffs committed the criminal acts that appear in the film, which included conspiring to steal seized drug money, murdering a supervising officer, communicating with cartel members, committing arson in a residential neighborhood, endangering the lives of civilians, repeatedly violating core law enforcement protocols, and executing a federal agent rather than making an arrest.
So my question still stands. Would you rather the movie be so exaggerated that it makes it seem like what you did was much worse than what you actually did? Or would you rather it be so authentic that it details what you did so well you can't deny it?
Attorney for Damon and Affleck's company, Artist Equity, said that the plaintiffs haven't even identified which particular character is supposed to be based on Smith or Santana. So if The Rip was actually about a real-life narcotics team, there's no way to connect any of the characters to the plaintiffs. Sounds like you're ratting yourself out, dog.
So you're not gonna answer?
Oh no, it was Florida.
No, I'm saying which one would you rather it be?
Rather it be...
Would you rather a movie about some crazy shit you did be so exaggerated that it's so far from the truth that it almost makes what you look like you did cartoonish? Or would you rather it be so accurately depicted
Cartoonish.
that you
Plausible
can't deny?
deniability.
That was my answer too.
Yep.
Because I'm
Plausible deniability.
like, don't.
I'd rather be O.J. Simpson than John Wayne Gacy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I would not like to be either. But if I had to choose,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next headline.
winner pays $9 million in charity auction for private lunch with Warren Buffett and Steph Curry.
Wow. Warren Buffett and Steph Curry. How much did the winner pay?
$9 million.
$9 million. This is definitely not Florida. Not saying that Florida doesn't
This
have
is
that kind
not
of money.
Florida.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is Upper East Coast.
Nope.
No.
I will give you one more guess.
Southwest Coast.
You were on the right coast, but
I was
no.
on the right coast. I'll take being on the right coast.
Someone paid more than $9 million to have lunch with basketball player Steph Curry and Warren Buffett, and the legendary investor also promised to match the winning bid so both their favorite charities will benefit. The auction on eBay was intended to revive an event that Buffett hosted more than 2 decades that raised $53 million for the Glide Foundation homeless charity in San Francisco. This year's auction, wrapped up on Thursday night, also raised for Curry's Eat, Learn, Play Foundation that he established with his wife Aisha. The anonymous winner paid $9,100,000 to win a private lunch with Buffett and the Currys in the 95-year-old investor's hometown of Omaha, Nebraska.
Was it Drake? Because Drake recently rapped about how he would have taken the money and not the dinner with Jay-Z. I'm just wondering if that's what Drake did with the money, right? You know, you take that, you flip it, you spend that on the money with Warren Buffett, and you spend that money on a dinner with Warren Buffett and Steph Curry instead, so you can rub it in Jay-Z's face and he can rap about it at the Roots picnic.
So apparently, Warren Buffett reached out to the Currys earlier this year to ask them to join the lunch auction. Curry missed 27 games this year before helping Golden State Warriors down the stretch to lose in the play-in.
I like the idea that Steph missed those games because he was having dinners with Warren Buffett.
I like to think the much more believable thing that Steph was missing those games to help out kids with cancer.
I like that you think that that's the more believable thing.
Next one. Redistricting drama renews focus on direct democracy and Air Bud. When I said that there were 2 longer articles, this is one of them.
This is like the 3rd time Air Bud has been mentioned this episode. I just want to bring focus to that.
It's fine. John Oliver did 3 full segments on the Air Bud franchise.
All right, let's get into it because this is a longer article.
All right, take a guess. Based on the headline. Redistricting drama renews focus on direct democracy and Air Bud.
It's definitely not Florida.
It is not Florida.
God, the fact that it's centered on sports makes me want to say that it's in the South somewhere.
You're not wrong.
So you just don't want to give me the
It's
confirmation.
definitely a racist state, historically.
But that could be Massachusetts. Like,
This is not a union state.
so it's in the South somewhere.
They thought about this one.
Is it Midwest?
It is, yes.
Okay. Is this Illinois?
No.
Damn.
You're close, though.
Michigan.
Missouri.
Damn, it's Missouri. Damn, I feel like I don't know. Airbud feels very Michigan for some reason. Golden Retriever, maybe it's the Golden Retriever. I don't know. Okay. So Missouri is arguing about democracy and Airbud.
This one is going to require me reading, but it's
Go
a good
for it.
article.
I'm gonna let you cook.
Missouri's redistricting drama renews focus on direct democracy and Airbud. When I first read about how Texas Republicans were preparing to engage in mid-decade redistricting, I sent a text message to a Republican aide in state government, jokingly wondering if Missouri would get in on the fun. It's no secret that my interest in Missouri redistricting borders on obsession. Some of my love for the subject stems from its importance. The lines and when they are drawn can determine which party has a better shot at winning any given district. But I also have a lifelong interest in cartography, including winning nearly every middle school geography bee and getting to talk to a National Geographic map maker while tagging along a work trip with my dad. Still, at the time I sent that text, I thought there was no way that Missouri Republicans would plunge back into congressional map making in 2025, especially after redistricting in 2022 sparked a bitter schism with the Missouri legislature. I was wrong. Very wrong. Missouri ended up becoming the second GOP-led state behind Texas to redraw congressional lines at the behest of President Trump, and Missouri Republicans were upfront about the rationale. They wanted to oust the Democratic Congressman Emanuel Cleaver of Kansas City to help prevent Republicans from losing control of the U.S. House. Enter Airbud. Redistricting detractors have filed a slew of lawsuits, including a particularly important one around whether it is even allowed for Missouri lawmakers to redraw congressional boundaries in the middle of a decade. That case is still in its early stages, but Missouri Supreme Court is expected to decide sometime this year. On the surface, redistricting foes seem to have a solid case, a constitutional amendment that they only allows for congressional redistricting after a census. But Missouri Republicans appear to have a secret weapon to counter that contention: the Airbud rule.
What?
In the 1997 Walt Disney film, a referee allows Buddy the dog to play basketball because after searching frantically through the rule book, there ain't no rule that says a dog can't play basketball. Flash forward to 2025, defenders of the Missouri redistricting plan have rallied behind a similar constructed argument. There's nothing in the Missouri Constitution that says lawmakers can't redistrict mid-decade.
So this is a gerrymandering thing.
Yup. We did say that it is getting pretty bad.
You gotta love that. You gotta love that. Using Airbud to justify racism. Nothing is more racist than a golden retriever.
Hey, fuck you. I graduated from UMBC and we are the Golden Retrievers.
I stand by my statement. Everybody may think it's a German Shepherd, but I argue that the most racist dog is definitely a golden retriever.
You have anything else to add to the Airbud rule?
No.
I'm not shocked that the GOP would lean into there ain't no rule that says.
Yeah, I mean, once again, like I said, using Airbud to defend racism feels
At that point, that is
pretty accurate.
That is an amazing clickbait headline.
I'm just
with
saying,
the actual article.
White people being so bad at basketball that they would imagine a fictionalized blonde dog being really good at basketball.
Larry would never.
Tracks pretty well with gerrymandering.
Next one. Circuit judge caught having sex with officer in chamber.
Yeah, I just saw this video earlier today, and I'm so mad that I didn't pay attention to what fucking state it was in. You can go ahead and read the article. I'm just letting you know I fucking saw the video earlier today. I was like, God damn, he was knocking that shit down.
Court records reveal that complaints about the judge surfaced back in September, stemming from a law clerk who accused the judge of having sex with the officer multiple times prior in chambers during work hours, all within earshot of the judge's staff.
Yeah. Not just the judge's staff, and anybody who didn't have their fucking earbuds in.
While neither the judge nor the officer are explicitly named, records do reveal that the officer held a high rank in a, quote, certain police department.
I'm almost certain the video that I watched earlier doxed everybody, but
The law clerk also reported that the subject judge failed to mentor the law clerks and edit their work, displayed visible anger to the law clerks, including yelling and cursing, and on one occasion told staff that the judge had too many martinis the night before. All right, this totally reads like they got it for something, and then they're just like, all right, now let's just pull out all of the notes.
it just feels like, I mean, if you were being cock-blocked by your staff, I think you would be a little frustrated too.
Moreover, the special committee noted that the affair made the subject judge vulnerable to potential extortion or blackmail.
This it does.
As to the subject judge's attendance at a partisan political event, the special committee found that the subject judge knowingly attended an event hosted by a district attorney's campaign. Furthermore, the committee determined that the judge has made numerous material false statements when initially responding to the allegations, such as denying the sexual affair at the courthouse.
So they hit a Bill Clinton.
He did not inhale.
Not Florida.
This is Florida.
That was Florida. Damn. You know, I'm not gonna lie, actually, that tracks for Florida. The only other state I could see pulling some kinky shit like that, or some wildly kinky shit like that, would be like Iowa. Because there's nothing else to do there.
Last one. Mushroom murderer got a life sentence. Prosecutors say it is not enough.
Did you say mushroom murderer?
Yes.
So, like, you know how
This
you
is
be,
the longest article, by the way.
So, you know, like, how you be, like, walking in the park and, like, you might just, you see, like, a particularly, like, chunky mushroom and you, like, oh, I'm gonna kick that shit. And they were like, oh, nah, this nigga gotta go to jail.
I haven't read this article. We're going to go through this together. But
I'm gonna
before
go
we
ahead
do,
and say not Florida.
this is not Florida. Now, I
This
will give
is
you...
Northwest. North Pacific.
No. I'll give
No?
you one more guess. Then I'm going to read through it a little bit. And then I'm going to give you another guess.
Can I narrow it by region?
Sure.
It's not the North Pacific.
No.
Is it the Mid-Atlantic East Coast?
No.
Damn. Okay.
A month after a judge sentenced Aaron Patterson to life in prison with a 33 non-parole period, prosecutors have appealed the sentence, calling it manifestly inadequate. The Office
the
of
fuck did
Public
this nigga
Prosecutions
do?
filed an appeal on Monday on the grounds that it was inappropriate for the sentencing judge to fix a non-parole period. Patterson, a 50-year-old mother of two, was sentenced in early September, weeks after she was convicted of killing 3 of her estranged husband's elderly relatives with poisonous mushrooms
Whoa.
in a home-cooked meal.
Whoa. Entirely. Okay, first of all, very misleading. Very misleading headline. I thought this bitch murdered mushrooms, not murdered with mushrooms. That's different. She killed three people with mushrooms.
3 of her estranged husband's elderly relatives with poisonous mushrooms in a home-cooked meal.
That she knew. She knew. Okay. Go
I
ahead.
assume.
Keep reading.
Do you want to take another guess?
On the state? No, I'll take a guess after reading. After try not to elaborate on where it is.
In July, I'm actively trying to do that.
Okay.
In July, after a 9-week trial, a jury found Patterson guilty on 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Justice Christopher Beale eventually sentenced her to 3 life sentences plus another 25 for attempted murder. She will be eligible for parole in 33 years in 2056 when she will be 82.
I mean, listen, killing old people.
During the sentencing hearing, when the broadcast live from the Supreme Court, Beale delivered a summary of the case against Patterson and concluded, quote, "The gravity of your offending warrants the imposition of the maximum penalties for your crimes." But he decided to grant Patterson future parole eligibility due to the harsh conditions she had already experienced and, he believes, is likely to continue to face during her time in prison, where she has been held in an extra restrictive unit for nearly 2 years.
The idea of taking pity on somebody for committing a heinous crime because of the punishment they may face while in punishment for the heinous crime they committed is also a level of privilege that I'm not quite sure I can comprehend.
In July 2023, Patterson hosted 4 guests for lunch at her home in the small town. They were her husband's parents, as well as her aunt and uncle. It is undisputed that she served them individual portions of homemade beef Wellington, a steak dish wrapped in pastry, usually with a paste of finely chopped mushrooms, and, as Patterson herself acknowledged during the trial, that paste contained death cap mushrooms, which are among the most poisonous in the world.
Yeah, I mean, the name is literally death cap mushrooms. Like,
all 4 guests were hospitalized with gastrointestinal symptoms the following day, and 3 of them died the following week from liver function and multiple organ failure due to a mantia mushroom poisoning.
yeah, I mean, once again, death cap mushrooms. It doesn't get much deadlier than that.
Do you want to take another guess?
Oh, are we at the end of the article
No.
yet?
No. This has pictures, buddy.
Keep reading.
The main question facing the jury: did Patterson knowingly put death cap mushrooms in the dish with the intention of killing her guests? Patterson denied that poisonings were deliberate, arguing that some previously foraged mushrooms made it into the dish by accident. Her lawyer said she tried to cover up her actions, including by lying to investigators about things like foraging for mushrooms, owning a food dehydrator, and becoming ill herself after the meal out of fear for her guest's death.
So,
Prosecutors argued that she did so on purpose, citing financial tensions between her and her estranged husband, but stopping short of offering a motive, and the jury agreed. Patterson showed little emotion when Beale announced her sentence, according to the Associated Press, and was widely expected to appeal the court's October 6th deadline. Under new rules granting her an extension, Patterson's team now has until November 3rd to do so. One of Patterson's lawyers said in an administrative hearing last week that she would appeal her conviction within a month. The judge said Patterson's prison conditions should make her eligible for parole. Beale reiterated at the sentencing that the prosecution did not need to prove a motive for Patterson's crimes, adding, quote, "Only you know why you committed them." He went on to say that Patterson had planned her crimes well in advance, showed her no pity for the victims, and engaged in a, quote, "elaborate cover-up," end quote, after the fact. Her lack of remorse, he said, quote, "pours salt into all victims' wounds."
So, if her excuse is that she forages for mushrooms and she accidentally picked bad mushrooms, it's a pretty solid excuse because it happens a lot, and it's actually really easy to do.
So she's either malicious or incompetent.
Well, I would argue that the level of incompetence here is one that is like fairly easy to breach, because Yeah, it foraging for mushrooms is not for like regular day. It's not for casuals. You should not casually forage for mushrooms because it is really, 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 really easy to fuck that shit up.
Just
and
ask
die.
Dr. Herelook. Oh, wait, you can't, because Tony Chopper gave him the wrong mushroom.
So, what we're saying is this woman may actually be a Tony
When
Chopper.
does a man die? Well, he eats a poisonous mushroom.
However, it is also a really, really good excuse to poison your in-laws and then be like, oops. Oh no. I thought those was the good mushrooms. Oh, what? Death cap. Oh, that sounds really bad. Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, this goes on like a long time.
Yeah, I don't think we need.
I don't want to go through the rest of this.
However,
I think we got the gist of it.
I will say,
Where do you think this is?
I'm gonna go ahead and say Florida.
This is not Florida.
God damn it! God damn it!
You know, you can guess outside of the states.
God damn! Oh yeah, that's right. Was this in Brazil?
No.
Damn it!
I'll give you another 2 guesses.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. Everything is trying to kill you there.
Oh, this was in New Zealand.
No.
Damn.
Same accent, wrong place.
Antarctica.
Australia, you idiot!
Oh man!
Wrong continent that starts with A!
Man!
Granted, I will say there are 3 continents that start with A, so...
And none of them.
4! Can't forget Africa!
Australia ain't got no penguins, man. Oh man, nah. I didn't.
Australia would have death cap mushrooms
Yeah.
readily available.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? I'm trying to think of where America, though. I feel like
to randomly go foraging for mushrooms
Yeah.
and you get death cap mushrooms. That's so Australia.
It also feels like something that you would encounter in the Pacific Northwest, though, like Montana, Oregon, like that area. That feels accurate for out there. You know, that seems like prime skinwalker territory. However, though, I will say that, using beef Wellington and mushrooms to poison your in-laws is just another excuse that none of this
is normal. But what should be normal is like, share, and subscribing the Flood Pod on everything, and that is on everything. And a shout out to our patrons of Rage Peacock.
Hey, we see you at the end of the episode along with all our new listeners, Slater.
A Thunder Night Orion and Andrew P. Raymer. Beep, 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 beep.
And we will be back next week to peek in the red, push it to the metal, and hit you off of the head with all of those hot takes.
Push a T voice. Yuck.
Deuces.
Look, it's a flood. It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Wait, why can't we talk about Black Sabbath?